Yeah, let's get into this then. I'll pause it for the time being. Actually, will I? I don't think I will. Thank you, Hola Boldness. Actually, I think I have to because I'm going to be listening to Asmongold. Okay. Here we are. It begins. So basically the context here is that he's reading what other people have posted on his Reddit. I think this is what he does. Goes through the Reddit, sees what's interesting or what people, I guess, want him to talk about on stream. And so this isn't his post necessarily, but someone else in his community says, iDubbbz comes out against pattern recognition. Actually, it's not capturing my cursor. Let me fix that. Oh, capture cursor is enabled. Do I need to... Oh, I needed to click. Yeah, iDubbbz comes out against pattern recognition. Just want to say, for anyone unaware, pattern recognition is like... And we've kind of seen it with AI as well, right? It is racist. It's not always racist, especially when it doesn't involve people's race. But it is a racist thing to say. Like here's an example. Do you think the Nazis thought they were pattern recognizing? I think they thought they were pattern recognizing, and I think they probably thought that was a good thing. So, you know, thinking that it's like, I don't know, like a math thing, like, you know, you're just being like objective and scientific about, you know, I've experienced this thing, you know, 3 times, therefore there's a pattern here, and now I can draw conclusions from that. Not good. What did I come into? Well, we're going to be reacting to this Asmongold clip. I was just reacting to people thinking that pattern recognition is some kind of like objective science in this case that can't be like disputed. It's not even real pattern recognition. They aren't actually noticing patterns. There are a pretty equal amount of videos uploaded to the internet of all sorts of people and ethnicities. People who say they notice a pattern with behavior based on internet videos are seeing what they want to. Yes, exactly. And I'll do this a lot, is that I will not argue necessarily the like accuracy of what someone is saying, like whether it is like true or false necessarily. Because I think that can sometimes like lose you, maybe lose other people. I like to assume that it's true and get into why that it's even wrong to take those steps in the first place. iDubbbz, you should download the Twitch extension Stream Prints and let us print images from your printer. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm still not Twitch savvy yet enough to do that, though. All right. Let's listen. I will probably need to turn up the audio, though, of this one. Okay, my volume's at 9, negative 9 dB.
And anyway, iDubbbz comes out against pattern recognition. Uh-oh, let's see this.
This person says, here in Italy, many of my friends have been robbed, assaulted,
That's
and
me.
it's been by North African immigrants each time.
Yeah.
But I guess the smug Californian has ruled that drawing any kind of conclusion from that is wrong. It is wrong.
Really low?
It is racist.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit weird, right? Because his volume's going to be higher than mine. It's just like a fucking, what do you call it? Human centipede, a Twitch centipede of, like, not good enough audio. I'll turn it up a little bit more, though.
And fucking weird.
Both things are true. You shouldn't treat North Africans as if they're criminals whenever you meet them. But at the same time, you need to acknowledge that if a demographic is causing a lot of problems, especially because they are not native to that area, you need to evaluate why are they there and is it a benefit to the people that live there that they are there. Both things are true. So,
okay, so he's doing one of these fucking fence riding things where he says both things are true. Remember that. Both things are true.
iDubbbz isn't totally wrong. He's 95% wrong, but
okay, both things are true. But the xenophobia part is like, that's like a lot more true than what I was saying. I was barely being truthful.
But he's not 100% wrong. Like, I don't think that it's a good thing to treat people like based off of a demographic. Like, this is always a mistake to do because you're fundamentally dehumanizing them. Whenever you take a person and you distill this individual down to
both things are true, but caveat, caveat, caveat. Yes, yeah.
a statistic that is an average across, thousands of people, you dehumanize that person. So I don't think you should treat North Africans like they're fucking, robbers or assaulters. No, of course not. That's crazy. But at the same time, you should definitely look at, hey, why are there so many of these people here? And is this really something that's good for the city here?
Oh, yeah, because that's totally what this person was saying, right? This person specifically named North Africans. And then he comes in with, yeah, it's okay to ask some questions. Muted? Am I muted now? No. I'm not muted. I paused the video. No. Audio's good here? Okay. You guys are freaking me out.
And I think the answer to that over in the UK is absolutely fucking not. And also, by the way, iDubbbz is gonna.
Well, this is part of the problem. Is he's consuming the propaganda from the UK? Like, this video, in large part, is for people like Asmongold. I made the video for Asmongold. Was I successful in convincing him otherwise? That like pattern recognition is still a racist thing? Like, I guess not. I mean, the video is still a little low. Yeah, it's on max, so I think I'd need to come up with some, I don't know, additional plug-in solution for upping the audio of the specific window.
Going to have this opinion because he can afford to.
Let's listen to that again, because I think that's really important.
It is fucking not. And also, by the way, iDubbbz is going to have this opinion because he can afford to.
It is wrong. It is racist and fucking weird.
It's easy to say that because it's not happening to you. And this is the issue that
it's not easy to say, dude. Look at my fucking videos comments. It is not easy to say. Like, that is such a fucking weird critique.
a lot of people have is that this is, I think that this actually brings me to a big topic. There is the selfishness in the performative altruism that leftist people like this have.
Performative altruism, aka virtue signaling. He thinks that I'm virtue signaling.
Because to them, it costs them nothing to virtue signal, but it costs other people potentially their lives. And I think that that's the reason why you have so many narcissistic left-wing people.
Oh my God, this is so frustrating to miss it entirely. Okay, number one, you have to assume that no one is being authentic, or like leftists are not being authentic in the slightest when they speak out against these things. They're only doing it for social clout and credit and looking like a good person. You know, like, I'm only saying these things to get a pat on the head by Hassan. I don't care. I'm doing it because I feel like it is the right thing to do, the good thing to do. Especially being someone who bought into the propaganda that Asmon spews on a daily basis
and the propaganda that these fucking people I made the video about spew. I totally bought into that shit. Where the guy would be panning around a marketplace and saying things like, what the fuck, this country's going to shit, basically, because of all the immigration. It is so brain dead. Like, none of these people actually know what's going on. They are not like they are getting views off of, like, essentially recording poor people and immigrants, in some cases, in a completely different country, a country that isn't their own. And, like, they're saying that I'm doing the virtue signaling. I mean, you have to assume that I'm lying and I just don't care at all. But I have the history of saying the exact same shit that these people are saying, or at least buying into it. Maybe not saying the same shit, but I totally bought into this shit when I was younger, and it's not good. It's terrible. It's like, if you want to be this fence rider, like Asmon is sort of portraying here, where it's like, no, there could be an actual immigration problem. Like, there could be too much immigration happening. That's fine. You can do that. You can go to your local, like, Congress meetup or whatever, and, like, sign petitions and do whatever it is that needs to be done in your city to fight against it. But a lot of people aren't doing that because they don't have this opinion. They don't think it's an actual problem. Honestly, it's not said. I appreciate the about face you've made on the side of, like, being understanding and empathetic. Your growth is appreciated. Thank you, Kimmy. Yeah, and Anissa and I have lived in largely immigrant populated areas, specifically in Canada. But yeah, the virtue signaling thing, I just fucking hate it because it's such a cop-out. It's like, you're just assuming that, you're just saying that I'm lying. Like, I don't believe any of it. And then there's no argument there. And he's saying that it costs me nothing. It's like, typically, when you say something like, it costs him nothing or it costs you nothing, that's usually like an indication that you're gonna, like, follow that up with like a positive thing. Like, it costs you nothing to be a good person. That's how people usually say that. But he's saying it costs me nothing to virtue signal. And it's like, bro, like, I'm fucking... Is that what he said? Let me rewind it.
Now to virtue signal in the performative altruism that leftist people like this have. Because to them, it costs them nothing to virtue signal, but it costs other people potentially their lives.
Oh my God. So don't say anything. Why? So don't say anything? Like, he's describing people in a privileged position as a reason for them not to say anything. Hey, with all the privilege that you have, say nothing. Be like me. Be a fucking pussy like me and don't say anything. Like, he's like, all of this comes down to strategy. So many of these people, they just want to be strategically correct. They're not even talking about whether they agree or disagree or how much, like, what is the right thing to do. They only care about what is strategically the right thing. Like, I'm not interested in your perception of what the right strategy to perform well online is.
And I think that that's the reason why you have so many narcissistic left-wing people nowadays, is because so many of them are enabled by that ability to, you know, conspicuously push out their ideology onto other people. Luxury beliefs, yes, it's a luxury belief. This is something
oh
that people
my
can
God.
believe in because they can afford to. I don't know where iDubbbz live.
Like, come on. It's a question of privilege. Like, if you're living a comfortable life, call it cushy, whatever, like, yeah, it's good to call out these things rather than to just say, like, yeah, I'm a rich piece of shit. Like, that is very, like, a comfortable life online. I absolutely could have continued that path. There's a lot of people making a lot of money, not really having to, like, hold themselves even remotely accountable. You got, like, the Nelk boys, right? Look at all the shit they're doing. Look at the Aiden Rosses. Like, look at what Asmongold's doing. Like, there's so much of this, like, weird self-deprecation that's just like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm, like, not okay with certain things. Because, to be honest, I don't give a fuck. And it's like, okay for you. But don't assume that other people are also doing that same thing. Like, if, like, other people secretly hold these fucked up beliefs, and they're just doing it for the camera. Like, I absolutely could have, like, kept on this path. Nothing about it felt right. Hassan can't buy a house without chat going for blood. Yeah, like, of course not. As soon as you're saying, like, I care even a little bit about this socialism or whatever the thing is, it's just like the people arguing in my comment section. It's like, oh, you care about immigrants? Okay, prove it. Go house a few immigrants. It's like, but you're nuts. It's insane because Nelk boys don't even know who, like, Glenn Beck is, and this system has been churning for like 2 decades, and they fell into the same trap. Yeah, I mean, I've been eating that shit up for the past 2 decades. And, like, things are happening and it's bad. It's not fucking good. And yeah, it's a small price to pay. That's why, like, the argument can be made both ways. This idea where, like, it costs him nothing to do this, therefore, isn't that suspicious? And it's like, no, it fucking cost me nothing to do it, which is why I'm doing it. Like, oh, my Subbernauts are not updating. That sucks. Oh, I think I need to open up the stream labels for it to update. Nice. Anissa was baking bagels today. Don't let this shit rile you up. To be honest, I have no fucking choice but to get riled up these days. I've been, like, kind of, what do you call it? Just kind of passive for a while on this shit. And, I don't know. It's just, like, not... I don't know. I don't think it's as entertaining. Because I don't want to, like, feed people, and I don't want to, like, feed trolls or whatever the meme is, but it's kind of like, well, I should get riled up now and again.
I have no idea, but I can almost guarantee you it's probably not around a bunch of North Africans, and it's probably not in a poor area. And so you have people that live in first world countries, in safe neighborhoods, gated communities, that are patronizing the working class people that are being terrorized by these, migrant groups in Europe, and also...
Like, the fucking fence riding and the dancing around the issues is so infuriating. He's bringing up working class people, like he's being sensitive to working class people's feelings. It's like, there's a lot of working class people who aren't fucking racist, dude. And they're still, like, going through things.
So by gangs here in America and just homeless people here in America, not even homeless. I mean, there's a very small contingency of them that are violent, but just the in general nevrons that are existing in America that are prevalent inside of low-income areas. They're all over the place. And it's easy for somebody in a gated community to call you a racist and say that you're stupid, but the problem is that there's a lot of stupid racists out there. There are. And I can guarantee you that eventually there will be enough of them to vote for somebody to solve that problem. And when they do, they're also going to solve the problem of you. You're going to be solved also. And
Wait,
so,
what? Does anyone know what he's saying here? He's saying there's a bunch, like, if I'm interpreting this correctly, he's saying there's a bunch of racist people, and that number is growing, and then they're going to elect someone who is going to solve the problem of immigrants, and then you will also be categorized as a problem, and then they're going to get rid of you? I don't get it.
that are existing in America that are prevalent inside of low-income areas. They're all over the place. And it's easy for somebody in a gated community to call you a racist and say that you're stupid, but the problem is that there's a lot of stupid racists out there. There are. And I can guarantee you that eventually there will be enough of them to vote for somebody to solve that problem. And when they do, they're also going to solve the problem of you. You're going to be solved also. And so, yeah, there we go. Is more every day? Absolutely.
Was it like slippery slope or something? I don't get the meme anyway.
And so that's really where I'm watching lose viewers. I don't care about viewers, right? It's not really the point. Side note, yeah.
No, it kind of is the point. It actually is the point. Because they're like, it shouldn't be the point, but someone in his chat said, watch him lose viewers or something like that. And it's like, there is this obsession with people online and even commentary people where what they're talking about is the strategy. They're like obsessed with the strategy of things, not whether or not it's the right or wrong thing to do or the right or wrong thing to comment on in like from a moral perspective. It's like, you shouldn't have said that because now you're going to lose viewers, or a general amount of people aren't going to like you for saying that. And it's like, yeah, that's the fucking point. Like, that's why people don't like riding the fence. That's why riding the fence is fucking cringe. It's like, because you aren't putting your foot down in certain situations to upset people.
You sure you're not woke because you don't seem to sleep to me, brother? Well, no, the thing is, to me, like, I think that I have some opinions that are like very left-wing opinions. I have some opinions that are very right-wing opinions. I'm going to be honest. Anybody who doesn't fit into that category kind of worries me. It does, because I'm like, why is it that this person is so one-dimensional? Why is it that this person is so, like, you know, one note, like every single thing that this group agrees with, I also agree with? I find that to be unsettling, personally. I think that's very odd. And so when I see something like that, I'm going to be honest, I think we might have an imposter here, right? We might have somebody who doesn't really believe any of this stuff. And I'm not saying iDubbbz, by the way. I'm just talking in general. They don't believe any of.
Oh my God. So annoying. Yeah, but like, you're never going to be an imposter if you think all of the racist things. You're just going to be taken at face value. If you're just like, I don't want fucking immigrants in our city, then you're going to be taken at face value. No way that you're like an imposter. Well, I generally think that is true. I don't think anyone's like faking those feelings, but to just assume that people who are having these thoughts are all just like fucking parroting their favorite streamer, and they're just all being inauthentic, or there's a large population of people being inauthentic. We're just talking about Don't say fucked up shit about a group of immigrants that are in your country, or not even in your country, in someone else's country. It really isn't that extraneous.
Of this stuff, they just use it as a social accessory. And that's what's really going on. Cheap is the word? Yeah, maybe you're right. But anyway, that's what I think in general. And your position as middle of the road can simply not exist without the extremes. They come into existence and require each other. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right. And anyway, so yeah, this is just... And you can see how gleeful and happy he is patronizing a person who's living being terrorized by...
Well, in fairness, I do just smile a lot, so I don't know where the perspective of, like, I'm so gleeful. I'm just trying my best. Sometimes I smile out of nervousness.
North African migrants, and meanwhile he's sitting in some probably $1 million house enjoying the comforts of a first world country without any of these conflicts.
I have none of the consequences of living in a city or country that's being I guess, I don't know if he would say this, but it's kind of the implication is that it's being overrun or terrorized by immigrants. But it's like I said before, like, that's the fucking privilege that you have. It's a similar, like, argument that people make about the Palestine thing. Like, no one has, like, that's something that people dropped a while ago. I'm sure there were people a lot of the time saying things like, you know, like, I don't know why you're fucking advocating so hard for Palestine. Like, you're living a fucking cushy life or whatever. It's kind of a bizarre argument, so it's difficult for me to put my brain space there. But it's essentially the same thing. You're privileged, so don't talk about it. Okay? I feel like all the more reason to talk about it. We have someone in the chat saying Sweden went from one of the safest countries to one of the most crime-filled countries. I don't think Sweden is, I'm not going to, like, fact check you here, but I don't think Sweden is one of the most crime-filled countries. I think that is quite an insane thing to say. Someone else can fact check you if they care to. But, like, you know, I imagine all of the xenophobic people in my comment section and elsewhere would probably voluntarily go to Sweden over many other countries. I wonder why that is. Probably because it's not in one of the most crime-filled countries. But yeah.
At all. And I think it's very frustrating for people to see that from somebody like iDubbbz. The comforts of a first world country without any of these conflicts at all. And I think it's very frustrating for people to see that from somebody like iDubbbz. It's very obnoxious. So yeah, honestly, bro, I don't think iDubbbz believes.
It's obnoxious and frustrating for people to see it. It's more talk about strategy. You're making people uncomfortable. You're making the vaguely racist or vaguely xenophobic people uncomfortable. Don't say that. You might not get as many people on your side.
Sashay's been spewing for 3 years. I have no idea whether he does. I think it's very frustrating for people to see that from somebody like iDubbbz. It's very obnoxious. So yeah, honestly, bro, I don't think iDubbbz believes Sashay's been spewing for 3 years. I have no idea whether he does or not. I mean, I like Ian, to be honest with you, I do. But I think that he's very wrong here, and I think that talking to people this way is extremely patronizing. And I think also it really alienates more people than it brings over.
It's just nothing but fucking strategy. Like, it is so obnoxious to hear commentary people talk about this shit. Like, I think it's not very sensitive to the feelings of racist people. Okay, dude, I don't fucking care. Like, why do we need to coddle the feelings of racist people? Like, I think they can justify how they've arrived there, you know, with the talking about the pattern recognition and all of that sort of shit. But it doesn't mean that they're doing a good thing. So you should fucking call it out. This is an easy opportunity to call it out. That's the way I interpret it. It's like, oh yeah, like these people on TikTok and elsewhere, they're just saying very obviously racist or xenophobic things, and they're not giving any context for any of it. They're propagandizing people on their platforms. They're not going to town halls. They're not even bringing up the statistics that some people in the chat like to bring up as like evidence to be racist. They're not even going to that level. They're just panning their camera around a fucking market. Like, they're doing all the most like just fucking surface level things. So like, yeah, like you should have some smoke for those people. Why are you using the word racist? I'm using it pretty loosely. Some people are more accurately called xenophobic in this context. But yeah, there are people who are just being straight up racist. Yeah, more of that just asking questions, just recognizing patterns.
And so, yeah, I just think that in all ways it's negative. Why? I talked to him and he seemed like a nice guy. I mean, like, why? I'm always going to make a decision brings over. And to be honest with you, I do. But I think that he's very wrong here. And
what the fuck is this? This is the problem with not even, like, I don't know if this guy watched the video or not. Or if it's just a matter of watching the fucking clip on his Reddit. But, like, I believe this. Like, this is my true, authentic self. But, like, that's taken a lot of time and work to come to this conclusion. And no, I didn't, with every epiphany I've had, I haven't made a YouTube video explaining it to people. I think that's why a lot of people think it's inauthentic or whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna, like, it's a lot. It's a lot for one person to fucking think about, and, you know, it's taken me a while to even fucking open up about it, because it's like, you know, this wasn't an overnight thing. It feels like overnight to a lot of people who watch, because they're like, oh, the last thing I watched from iDubbbz is him saying the N-word to Tana, and then he did that boxing thing, and now he's like a loony left-wing guy. What happened? He must have got punched too many times. It's like, yeah, I'm not spewing on the internet every day. I mean, I think they just want to believe it's fake, because if it's real, then they have to admit that they haven't grown and changed. Yeah, I mean, I generally agree with that. It's a difficult thing to conclude. Asmon has said himself it's a vibe check for him. He doesn't bother reading or investigating on the whole. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, I think, about certain things. He probably feels pretty justified with this. But again, it's like, I don't know, you don't really pick out maybe some of the nuance of even what the topic is.
I think that talking to people this way is extremely patronizing. And I think also it really alienates more people than it brings over. And so, yeah, I just think that in all ways it's negative. Why? I talked to him and he seemed like a nice guy. I mean, like, why? I'm always going to make a decision on somebody based off of my personal experience with them privately versus, and like, there's a lot of people that, like, I can like Ian, but I cannot like what he does as iDubbbz. You know what I mean? There's a lot of creators that I don't really like them as like creators, but I might be friendly with them privately.
This is so annoying,
because I
though,
understand
to
that,
suggest that someone is virtue signaling and they don't believe what they're saying at all, and it's just virtue signaling. That's kind of the basis for what he's saying, because you really don't have an argument if you assume that I'm coming from an authentic place. Like, so a more accurate way to say that someone is virtue signaling is saying that they're lying. Just say that I'm lying. I would prefer that. Just say that he doesn't believe any of the shit, he's lying. I don't like the fucking, like, the weird, because I used to say that a lot. I used to think, and you can go and look at old Kickstarter crap videos and random shit like that. I really thought I understood shit. I very often I would say that people were virtue signaling, but that is the biggest fucking cop-out. That is essentially to say, kind of like when you mentioned in chat, that it's just like a vibe check, and it feels inauthentic to you because you have never felt that in your life. Therefore, it has to be virtue signaling. That was how I viewed many people that had these virtuous opinions. You know, I would listen to it and I would be like, there's no fucking way. Like, you're just trying to score points. And it's like, no, they're just fucking over that shit. And it life is too short to be that way. Like, and then when you meet people who are about it, and it's like, oh shit, like, you are actually living a very decent life, and you don't assume that everyone's a piece of shit, and you take people at their word, like, it changes your perspective. Yo, what up, Adam Vision and Grimecraft? But you were always supposed to be making leafy videos for the rest of your life, don't you know? Well, yeah, the problem is, like, I thought for a while that I could kind of, like, take the audience with me. Like, oh, like, I've shifted in what I think is important or not, and, like, the audience as a whole, generally speaking, like, I have the ability to, like, shift the vibes or whatever, you know, and be like, guys, we care about this because of X, Y, and Z. Let me give you some really, like, you know, some baby examples to, like, you know, what is the word? I mean, the worst, I can only think of bad words to describe that. Like grooming. But basically just kind of bringing people along so that they understand that the perspective that I've gained over time. And hopefully they'll be in the stage in their life where they can see that perspective and relate it to what they've experienced in their life. But for a long time, and this was like leading up to my apology, I'm like, people aren't really getting it. Like, it's almost like I need to fucking, like, actually announce, like, by the way, guys, I don't think a lot of this shit was good. Oh, can we take the... Oh, thank you, Zoe. Oh, man, I should have taken the Adderall today. I think my brain's cooked. I think I've run out of steam. No, I'll get back on track. Actually, I'll get back on track by listening to the rest of this. I think it's almost done.
Like, this is what you're doing, you know, this is the kind of content you make, right? That's fine. It's like a job in a way, right? And so it's that simple. So it makes sense. Yeah, talk about his wife now. I don't care about that. Like, I don't know anything about Anissa. Like,
oh my god.
Like, that's
his fucking chat says talk about his wife now. I mean, this is what I'm fucking talking about. It's like, there's just, like, if you don't put your foot down for shit, they're just gonna keep asking for all sorts of, like, they just want to hear him just fucking hate. There's another video I saw, I'm not gonna play it, but, like, he was reacting to some fucking creepy ass AI video of me and Anissa, some weird freak on the internet was like, I'm going to create some like AI content around Ian and Anissa. It was like, it like had our, I mean, it was pretty decent AI. It wasn't like the complete, I mean, it was kind of scuffed in some ways, but it was just saying like, what was it saying? It was saying that I buy expensive paintings and tattoos, and I'm like, well, fucking, not really paintings, but, you know, tattoos, sure. I mean, I wouldn't say the tattoos are extraordinarily expensive. It's pretty average. But it was saying all of it like some fucking horrible gotcha. Like I'm a disgusting, freaky person. And the AI was calling my wife a whore. And he was watching this shit. And it's like, bro, like, what do you mean? You're like rolling around in the shit. Like, part of the shit is you, like, accepting these creepy AI things about other people, your colleagues, whatever, people you've met. And you're like, I like Ian. But I also like watching creepy ass stalkerish AI videos calling him a freak and his wife a whore. It's like, okay, cool. I like iDubbbz. All right. Maybe keep that shit to yourself. iDubbbz, I've followed you since the first Kickstarter crap videos, and I support the new you. I like that you're standing up for the creators and not just supporting H3, but it sounds like a bit of tone deaf when you talk about Europe. Please do more research on the subject. Oh, you're the one who said the shit about Sweden having a insanely high crime rate, being one of the highest crime rates in Europe. Yeah, I mean, that kind of speaks for itself, I guess. Yeah, and then he acts like puzzled when someone asks to like comment on some shit he doesn't like want to talk about or know anything about. He's like, "What the heck? I don't know anything about that." But it's like, no, you always comment. You comment on loads of shit that you know nothing about.
I don't know. Why would I talk about his wife? Like,
I don't know because that's the fucking content that these people want to fucking listen to. Because that's the fucking community that you've built? I don't know. They posted on your Reddit.
About it all. Grok has been suspended from Twitter. Did he say the...
Thank you, hey, Gabby May. And, who else was there? Julie Jew, Retro Panda, and most recently, Neon Cello. But anyway, that's the Asmongold thing. Extremely frustrating to me. I don't like... The reason I don't like Asmongold is that he reminds me of myself. And, like, essentially the path that I could have taken. And it disgusts me. And... It's a lot of the same rhetoric that I believed in. And, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. You know? It's, yeah. I don't know. I want him to do better. I like that he... I felt like there was an opportunity to like fucking learn something at one point. I think he did some form of apology about his like Palestinian thing. Like he said something really awful about Palestinians, and I think he had some form of apology for that. So I was very like accepting of that. I was like, okay, maybe this is the start of something new, but it just feels like, again, like I've been saying, just part of the strategy, you know. And I do think at this point, I don't think it's authentic, you know. And I'd appreciate if he didn't think what I was saying was authentic, he'd come out and say it, like, this is bullshit. Okay, next up, we have Robin Bagpipes. Now, Robin Bagpipes, I don't have as much heat for. I think he's the youngest out of all the people I featured on the video. I think he's the Gen Zer. And basically his content was going around India and potentially other countries, but India really stood out to me. And just saying, like, you don't want Europe to become like this. And just kind of implying that having dirt roads and having, I don't know, a marketplace full of brown people was a bad thing. You know, it's difficult, right? Because there's so much vague shit being communicated. Like, it's a bit dog whistly, where you're like, you don't want... Wait a minute. Can we remove the ban from Grizzly Bears? Thank you, Piggy555. Thank you, Zawi, ma'am. I know, like, by the way, mods, yeah, no worries. I understand that the topic in particular is a fucking rough one. I'm saying a lot of shit, so it's obvious, like, you know, you gotta be pretty fucking... You gotta be pretty trigger happy. So there might be some, what do you call it? Unintended casualties. Some, what is that called? Friendly fire or whatever in the chat. But yeah, it was just a lot of this shit around, like, you don't want Europe to be like this or look like this. It's so hard because you're like, what are you talking about? Sometimes it was literally, you don't want Europe to be like India in terms of, like, the trash on the ground. And it's like, yes, nobody wants trash on the ground. Like, of course, this is an easy one, right? Like, we can be on the same page with that. But the problem is you're, like, kind of categorizing the whole of India as being, like, a dirty, awful country, all in the same sort of, you know, blanket statement. So here is his response to my video. You didn't miss WoW, Amelia. We were just getting started.
iDubbbz just posted a video accusing me, a student bagpiper traveling around the world showing off his culture, of being a coward. That's right, the I'm gay guy who jumped off his kitchen cupboard onto the floor in a green suit, shouting I'm gay at the camera, is now professing his moral superiority and knowledge of the situation in Europe, that he is on a pedestal from which he can criticize me. And if he is not the cowardice cockhold that everybody accuses of being, come to Europe. iDubbbz just posted...
Okay, so he wants me to come to Europe if I'm not a coward. Oh no! Not Europe! Anywhere but Europe! So, I'll go to Europe. But here's a stipulation. I'll go to scary Europe, but here's a stipulation. Robin Bagpipes, we have to meet up. We have to, you know, squash the beef, whatever that means, you know. And we have to show each other the culture that we're talking about. You know, he has to show me all of the terrible places in Europe or Scotland, wherever he thinks it's, like, I guess, particularly bad. He can go over there and show me, and we can record it, and we can say, this is bad, poverty's horrible, crime's horrible, all that sort of shit. And but then he has to go to, like, I don't know, another area, and he has to meet some immigrants from I don't know where we'd go. We'd have to figure that out. Well, no, we're not going to take him to LA. But we just experience the other side of it, right? Because there's this idea that it's like, you know, it's all horrible, so crime infested or whatever. Yeah, we can go eat some food. Essentially just giving a well-rounded approach of, like, all right, if you want to show, you know, the worst part or the worst result of immigration, I will show you the best part of immigration. And then, we can call it there. I do think it's funny though, because the routine is kind of always the same. Yeah, it's a cultural exchange program. The approach that Robin took was basically like, I'm going to like invalidate what he was saying by saying that he's the guy who jumps off the countertops. He jumps off the bench tops and says, I'm gay, and wears a green suit. And it's like, come on. When people loved my racist opinions, that me jumping off a counter would validate my opinions. It'd be like, that actually makes it even more awesome. The fact that you jump off a counter and say, I'm gay. It's like, don't pretend that that's like, that's not something that you fuck with. It's like, when it's someone you disagree with, saying I'm gay and jumping off the bench tops is horrendous.
Posted a video accusing me, a student bagpiper traveling around the world showing off his culture, of being a coward.
I don't think I said that he's a coward, because I think that's a little too far to say that. Maybe I did. I think I said it's cowardly. I think I said it's so cowardly. And the reason that it's cowardly is because I was in the same sort of fucking position. I wasn't bagpiping. I wasn't traveling around the world. You said it was cowardly. Yeah, I said it was cowardly. I didn't say he was a coward. I think that's different. Saying that someone is a coward is like, that's bigger to say, than saying someone's cowardly. Yeah. That's like that's a big time insult. Because it's a behavior thing, right? Like, you're being cowardly. If you're a coward, that's your whole fucking identity. But the reason I said it was, he was being cowardly, or he's cowardly, is being aware that there's this Indian racism, especially online, and being aware of all of the comments that he receives from extremely racist people. Even if he's not being racist, I relate to this, right? I didn't think I was being racist. I didn't think I had a racist bone in my body. So as long as I'm, being true to myself, I have nothing to worry about. But you know what you're putting out on the internet. You know how people are consuming it. And you know that racist people are consuming it. So you can't separate it and say like, oh no, I'm like completely ignorant of that. That's them. I just happen to be coming across the racist algorithms. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like, no, you're part of it. You might not be as bad as Kurt Kaz or the next guy or a Nick Fuentes. I don't think this guy's as bad as a Nick Fuentes on the face of it, but it's the start, and you get reinforced, and you're essentially holding up a mirror, and or the audience is a mirror that you're holding up, and you're fucking looking back at yourself, and it's like, that's not, it's just fucking, it's the same shit. So yeah, unfortunately, you do need to like think about, who you're attracting in your audience, and steer the ship away from it. I don't think it's too late for this guy. It was too late for me. Like, I fucking made loads of videos that were just like incredibly insensitive, and straight up racist. But like, something that I was trying to communicate, I don't know if it made the final cut, but one of the things I was trying to communicate in my video was, good, you're traveling the world, and you're actually like solving the problem. You're like doing the thing that you're afraid of, which is like your culture like not being represented, your culture kind of disappearing in favor of other cultures. And it's like, you're going around, you're playing your bagpipes, you're doing like most of the work. That's fucking awesome. Play your bagpipes. Play your bagpipes in India. Nothing racist about that. Nothing xenophobic about that. But then to pair it with the rhetoric that a fucking like a white supremacist would say, or like, just any of these like, let's say lower tier xenophobic people who are just like, I just think it's a statistics thing, a statistics problem. I just want to have paved roads. That's all I want. Like you don't need it. I think this guy would get loads of views if he just leaned into, like, you even see, I gave the example in the video. It was fucking social repose. Fucking Social Repose gets in his regalia in the same way this Scottish guy does, and he just sings his fucking songs in different environments. I'm not saying take the Social Repose route per se. Thank you, the Jack of Us. But like the contrast is viral. You know what I mean?